Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. These Mexican pinguiculars are not easy to get hold of. Boy, have I been trying. It's probably where they come from and the fact that they don't travel well. I think that's the best way to put it. But this cross is Gigantea cross with that. I'm not going to try and say that. But what it's called doesn't actually matter to me. It's its job. This is not here to look pretty. This is here to do a job. And it's doing it. They catch fungus gnats. They're carnivorous plants. Got another little bloom coming there too. I didn't notice that last time. But you know, if you've got an intermediate type greenhouse environment where you can keep humidity reasonably high and probably no direct sun, although I don't know that much about these little things, they do well. Now this was a present from Oliver back at one of our Orchid Society shows, and it's growing well and it's blooming. I'm happy, but this is what I got it for. These fungus gnats get in your face when you're in your greenhouse or your grow room. Wherever you try and go, there's one near your face, and you flap at them, and because they're so lightweight, by waving your hand at them to try and swat them, you actually create an air current and effectively let them live by blowing them away from your swipe. I've got the knack of that now. I grab the little things. But since this started growing well and putting out a nice lot of new leaves, I've got hardly any fungus gnats anymore. And bearing in mind their grub stage, their larval stage is actually in your media, which is, I don't think you do any harm to plants, don't get me wrong, but they're just annoying little things and I want them gone. So I had a chat with Oliver, have you got any more, have you got any different sorts? And he said, well, I'm hoping to get some more in, but at the moment I have actually split up one of the bigger plants because they grow new little plantlets out the side and eventually become quite large. And then you can just split them up. But again, from Oliver, he's brought me two little new ones that have been recently potted up. So, yeah, now I've got three. And, you know, these will eventually be like that. I don't know how long they take. I mean, I haven't had this one long, but it's growing okay. I'm well pleased with its development and the job it's doing. And now it's got two little baby friends, so I'm over the moon. So thank you, Oliver. We met up at the New Forest show and had some chats and things like that. And Oliver was... you know, he works for a company that do tree surgery and things, so obviously men have got to get up into trees and cut big branches off and then eventually bring the trunk down and all that sort of stuff. So there's lots of pulleys and, you know, climbing stuff and ropes and pulling yourself up and stuff. And they had a lovely little arrangement set up to let the kids have a go. So they were getting the kids to sort of queue up, get a ticket, and then climb into the harness and pull themselves up on this apparatus and ring a bell when they get to the top, you know, and then let themselves down slowly, preferably. I did say to Oliver, you should charge £1 a go. You know, parents will pay £1 for their child to have a go. They'll probably pay £5 if you leave them up there. But it was good fun. So, yeah, Oliver was busy working when I went round to get these, but we did have a nice long chat later on. So, thank you, Oliver. Where there was one, there is now three, and I'm pleased. And one day I'm hoping to get some different types, because the plants can vary a lot. They can have a very tight rosette rather than loose leaves, so you get different shaped plants and different coloured blooms from deep purples through to virtually pure whites, as far as I know. But if you're going to grow them in any form of greenhouse where there's heat or anything like that, you do need to try and get the Mexican varieties because that's where they come from. If you get the sort of European ones, or worse still, the native one, I think there's two native pinguiculars in England, although they're incredibly rare in the wild. But you put them in an environment like mine, they will die. Trust me. Voice of experience. They didn't last 2 weeks. Whereas these sort can thrive. And they do a job. Carnivorous plants, in a strange way, as the little flies stick to the leaves, and then the enzymes in the leaves break that down and feed the plant. So, brilliant. Thank you, Oliver. See you next time.